You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Chris Brittany, you heard Lieutenant Governor there. That says a hell of a whole lot that the legislature will not meet because of these thugs and their guns, and Republicans have no problem with it in Michigan. That is sickening.
I mean, I love the point that he made in terms of, if this was a group of black folks that were armed like that, we absolutely know that this wouldn't be the response. And I also like this point that said that this was truly this is a political moment, and they're making it a political situation as opposed to dealing with the health needs of the state and of the country. So it's unfortunate that.
Chris, what do you make of that? What do you make of the legislature not meeting because out of fear of these people walking around with guns? Isn't that the point of state police?
Yeah, I think. Frank, there's no talk around that. I think I'm all for obviously bearing arms, but look, I think it certainly poses a challenge, and I don't. When it comes to being obviously doing legislative duties, they shouldn't feel intimidated no matter what political party you are. They should be free to do their job. There's just no way around that. I think it's something that's challenging. And I actually like what Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist said best. You can't shoot a virus. And I think obviously they knew what they were coming from. They knew the intention, they knew the motive, and I think it was to intimidate. And if they want to have the state reopened, I think there's different ways to go about that. President Trump has talked about making a deal, but I think there certainly is ways to go about that if they want the state reopened. And I don't think intimidating legislature is the best way to do so.
Rob, real simple. What these are the Tea Party thugs who Donald Trump is trying to rile up because he needs white anger and resentment in order for him to try and win in November.
Yep, pretty simple. And let me just say, here in Ohio, we actually shut down businesses as well. There was some protests, but not near that level. I wonder why. Oh, because we have a Republican governor. Because this is not about the virus. This is just about trying to get people mad. And what does the Confederacy have to do with the virus? And what's swastikas? What does any of that have to do with the virus? It doesn't. These people are just trying to intimidate. They're looking for reasons to be angry, and they are thugs, and they need to be checked. And I think this is about intimidating people. It has nothing to do with the right to bear arms. Nothing.
And in fact, that legislator who wore the Confederate mask first tried to deny what it was, then admitted it was indeed a Confederate flag mask.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's what they do. That's what they do. They deny it, and they try to blame you when you call them out on their racism. Like, why are you always talking about race? Why are you being racist? Let's stop.
And I do want to point out, and obviously clearly that's wrong. Obviously, try to cover up the Confederate flag and then say it was. I'm with you on that. But what I do want to point out, not every Republican. Let me say this carefully. I think people associate many times, especially in this particular administration, people talk about Republican Party, they talk about racism and Confederate flags.
There's a reason for that.
I'm black.
Chris,
what was that? I missed it.
Chris, let me ask you a question. Out of both political parties, which one defends the Confederate flag over the other?
Well, so I don't want to say it's a party statement, Roland.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah,
if there are people who are members of the Democratic Party, and there are people who are members of the Republican Party, which one of those members are more likely to defend Confederate flag and Confederate statues? Which one?
So I think we all know that traditionally, if there are any individuals who have any of those type of issues, it's generally on the right side. Their party affiliation is on the right side of the aisle.
So hold on. So let's unpack that. So the point I'm making is, anytime you see these, so in Congress right now, who is the person who lost his committee assignments because he made what essentially were white supremacist views? Is Steve King a Republican or a Democrat?
Well, now Steve King is a whole other situation.
No. Is Steve King a Republican or a Democrat?
He's a Republican.
Now, when you look at Mississippi, in terms of Confederate flag, recognizing Confederate history, Virginia, recognizing that, who is more likely to recognize the Confederate history, Republican governor or Democratic governor?
I would say Republican governor.
When you've had people in Tennessee and North Carolina who have argued keep up Confederate statues, Are they Republicans or Democrats?
Well, but again, I also want to say this on Confederate statute.
I didn't say white or black. Are they Republicans or Democrats? Which one is it?
Republican.
So what you have is, so anytime, so in 2020, if an issue comes up that involves Confederate flags, if you had to put money on it, you would bet they are more likely they're going to be Republican than Democrat. Yes or no?
It's deeper than, go ahead.
Chris, yes or no?
100%. Yeah. Yes, Republican, 100%.
So,
I would bet.
So what does that say that Confederate flag wearing, Confederate statue loving people are more comfortable in the Republican Party than the Democratic Party? What does that say about the Republican Party?
I think it says that there are certain members, and again, let's use Steve King as a great Iowa, great example. I mean, many of us in the Republican Party and other members of Congress, people have talked about. I mean, we know that's a different scenario. Steve King is, I think we all know.
Is he still in the party?
Yep.
Chris, is he still in the party?
He is.
Has he been expelled from Congress?
No, he is not. He has not.
Is the Republican Party still accepting of Steve King?
So behind closed doors,
No, not behind closed doors. That's my point. Rob, go ahead, Rob. Go ahead.
And Chris, I'm actually gonna help you out a little bit here. So, look, the fact is, every Republican is not racist, and that's not what I'm saying.
That's right.
I ran for office. I got support from Republican donors. Some, not very many, but I did get some support. So I'm not going to say that people across the board, anybody that's a Republican is a racist. Here's the problem with this current president, though. Beyond what Roland just went through, you have people in his administration that are white supremacists. You have a president that has embraced, that have said things that no other president has said. He's talked about, I'm a nationalist, kind of hinting, wink, wink, white nationalist. He's got people in there who are actually proclaimed white nationalists working for him. And people are okay with this. So the problem with the party is that they're indifferent. They'll tolerate this overt racism. And the Republican Party used to be the party of just, they would just do the little dog whistle. It's a bullhorn. Clearly, he is calling for people to come out. Clearly, he's inciting this and he's creating this culture that is empowering people to feel as if they can push back in a way more overtly. So, and it is dangerous, and we have to call it out. So we need people not only behind closed doors, but directly confront the hate, because it's having dramatic effects, as I'm sure we're going to talk about more.
And Rob, and I certainly, I like your thought process and how you speak. And look, and I'll say this. Speaking of hate, one of my frustrations that we were, several of us were at the White House and during Black History Month, and we had a reception and the president whole nine. But let me tell you one of my frustrations. When we talk about hate, a very close friend of mine, attorney Mark Little, received a lot of criticism. When I say a lot, they made fun of him on SNL, CNN, the whole nine. Don Lemon did the whole thing on him, and simply because he sat there and he prayed for President Trump with him. And he got a lot of criticism for that. People, how dare you do that? How can you pray for a man? This and that. So me, I'm a Christian. A black man, black Republican, but I'm a Christian, strong Christian. But at the end of the day, whether people like him or not, I'm never against. When you talk about hate, I'm never against praying for someone, whether we like them or not. I think we should pray for any president, but especially President Trump. He has a lot going on, obviously. But that, to me, I think we should address issues on both sides, because that's hate. If you can't even pray for a president of the United States, that's absolutely crazy to me. People were upset about that.
I'm sorry. Is this the same man who ridiculed Nancy Pelosi for saying she prays for him?
Well, the thing is,
no, I'm asking you a question. Is this the same man?
Yeah.
Did Donald Trump ridicule Nancy Pelosi for publicly saying she prayed for him? But this is the same Donald Trump who white conservative evangelicals love, who they hold up, who talk about how God placed him there. So, Chris, if you're going to take offense to people being critical of Mark Little, well, then you should be criticizing Donald Trump. If you're going to say as a Christian, that's why you don't like their comments, well, then you should be equally offended when Donald Trump ridiculed Nancy Pelosi for saying she prays for the president. Do you?
But I want to say this, Roland. I do want to say this. I think you and I both know Pelosi doesn't like the president. All right?
No, hold on. Can you answer my question? Was it wrong?
Yeah,
so if Nancy Pelosi said, I'm a Christian. Nancy Pelosi says she's a Christian. Nancy Pelosi says she prays for the president. Donald Trump claims to be a Christian, ridiculed her. So if you are going to get upset that people ridiculed Mark Little, are you not as offended that Donald Trump ridiculed Pelosi for saying she prays for him? Yes or no?
Right, but the difference is Mark was sincere and serious about it.
No, hold on. Wait.
Pelosi, hold up. I'm not sure if it was satire.
Wow. Hold up. I'm sorry. So hold up. You say you're a Christian. How can you, as a Christian, determine the sincerity of Nancy Pelosi when she made the comment? Are you saying that Nancy Pelosi was not being sincere? Are you saying that she's a fake Christian?
So I'm not saying she's a fake Christian, but I think it was said. So again, I wish we have the clip to look at it. But
keep talking, I'll get the clip.
Hold on, he'll get you the clip.
Keep talking. Keep talking, I'll get the clip.
Wait a minute,
but
Rob.
I'll say this.
So if you don't mind, sorry. But my thing is this. My bad, Rob. Well, my thing is this. I think it was in a context of kind of satire. Let's really be real. Pelosi. Now, don't get me wrong. Does she want him to do well? Does she want our country to do well? Let me just say that. Yes, she does. But what I can tell you, and no, not about being a fake Christian, but what I can tell you is this. Mark sincerely sat there and had a strong and powerful prayer, not for attention, not for grandstanding, because he genuinely felt and wanted the president to do well, wanted our country to do well. Now, Pelosi, on one hand, can talk about President Trump, say all these negative things, and he's this and that, and not just negative things as in he's not doing this or that, doesn't like him. I mean, harsh things. And I'm not saying he didn't say things about her. I'm talking about her right now. But then you turn around 30 seconds later and said, I had a prayer for him to hope the best and whatever she said, and wanted the Lord to touch him, wanted him to do really well. That doesn't add up to me. It doesn't make sense. We all know it doesn't add up.
So it does. And in fact, well, first of all, what you just said is not what she said. In fact, you asked for it. Here it is. Go to my iPad, please.
Do you hate the president, Madam Speaker? Because
I don't hate anybody.
Representative Collins,
I was raised in a Catholic house. We don't hate anybody, not anybody in the world. So don't you accuse me.
I did not accuse you.
You did.
I asked the question.
You did. And
Representative Collins yesterday suggested that the Democrats are doing this simply because they don't like the guy.
that has nothing to do with it. Let me just say this.
I think it's an important point.
think the president is a coward when it comes to helping our kids who are afraid of gun violence. I think he is cruel when he doesn't deal with helping our dreamers, of which we're very proud. I think he's in denial about the climate crisis. However, that's about the election. This is about the election. Take it up in the election. This is about the Constitution of the United States and the facts that lead to the president's violation of his oath of office. And as a Catholic, I resent your using the word hate in a sentence that addresses me. I don't hate anyone. I was raised in a way that is a heart full of love, and always prayed for the president. And I still pray for the president. I pray for the president all the time. So don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
Chris, you called that satire.
So I don't think that she, and I'll be clear, I didn't say the word hate, but what I will say.
But what you said is, you said her comments were made, they were satirical comments. We just played them.
Correct.
We just played them.
I did say that.
What was satirical about what you just heard?
Because my thing is this. She can't say negative things about the Trump and he's difficult playing, all these negative connotations she talks about the president, right? And then you can't say 30 seconds later, I sincerely, and I'm not saying she doesn't, but what you can't say is...
Actually, you can. What she said is, she separated. She said, stop, that's politics. On this...
Yeah.
So, I mean, she was real clear. She said, wait a minute, that's politics. She said, take that up in the election. Brittany, go ahead.
Absolutely. I think this is a lot of political theater. And I think, at the end of the day, whether or not Nancy Pelosi wants to pray for somebody is really beside the point, because we're talking about Christians being invested in making a difference and doing Christian-like things. Then we would actually have to talk about the policies that Donald Trump is trying to uphold, which are obviously not Christian in and of themselves. You're not going to lock kids in cages along the border if you actually are a true Christian and you care about individuals. You are not going to
that wasn't just President Trump,
allow white supremacists to do things that it's going to incite violence against Asian Americans, against Black Americans, if you are a true Christian. I think it's very evident that Donald Trump's policies don't speak to someone that is actually a Christian or that actually wants the best for this country. And I think whether or not Nancy Pelosi is criticizing Trump, I think is really beside the point. Like, she can pray for him, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I think it's very interesting. We see all of these Christians supporting and backing Donald Trump, knowing that his policies aren't very Christian-like at all.
Rob?
Rob
and Chris.
You're going to like some of what I say. You're not going to like some of what I say. Where I thought you were going with this is the fact that simply because a Black person happens to be a conservative or happens to be a Republican means that they're a sellout. We have to hate them and talk about them a certain way. I disagree with that completely. Now, that being said, I have Black conservative friends, and I will wound them with the truth, because real friends will hold you accountable. And this president is not like normal Republican presidents. He requires another level of introspection. He requires another level of criticism, because he has embraced hate in a way we haven't seen before. Therefore, we're not talking about how much money one gets, or we're not talking about economic policy. We're talking about the fact that he doesn't respect people of color. He doesn't respect Black people. And that's the problem I have with the words he says. That's the problem. And the climate he creates, it is dangerous. That's what I think. And that's the reason why we have to call these things out when we hear them.
Chris, final comment.
Thanks, Rob. I just hope that we can all come together. And I genuinely mean this. I hope we can all just come together. And I think it's a lot of backbiting on both sides. Obviously, it's a real problem. So I really hope that we can generally put all of our issues aside and really come together, not just for COVID-19, but as a nation, because there's a reality. President Trump, let's say he gets reelected, right, which I think it's a strong possibility. It's another 4 years. And I'll say this overall, not just as American people, but as obviously as a Black man in our community, we can't sit for, at that point, it would be nearly a decade, 8 years, right? It's almost 10 years. We can't sit here and say, and be pissed off and nothing happened. We have to sit here and say, okay, how can we advance ourselves as a culture? How can we do the best for us as people? That's what I think is important. So my biggest thing that I always tell folks all the time is that you can't sit here, be frustrated, be angry, and not want to have anything done, or be mad because so-and-so talked to them and so-and-so didn't talk to them. We have to be about what can we do as a country, as a nation, and overall, our community has suffered for so long. We have to look at this and say, okay, he's now president and he's reelected president. What can we do to come to the table to doing things better for our community? That's what I would really urge us to do and come together to talk about. And maybe, Roland, that could be a segment on the show. I mean, I think it's really important that we look at that and say, what can we do to work together, and how can we advance our community?
I have no problem working together, but when this administration is afraid to come talk to Black media, that won't happen. When this administration is afraid to sit down with Black people who disagree with him, that's not going to happen. And we're going to have an honest conversation. When you have this administration, okay, who on one hand wants to tout the First Step Act, but on the other hand sides with cops when it comes to consent decrees, when it comes to prosecuting people at the highest levels, reinstating private prisons, we can have a much broader conversation. But this is real simple. This administration does not want to actually have that conversation. And guess what? This is open anytime, any day to any of them, but they are afraid to come have the conversation because, see, they know this is not Fox and Friends. There are no airheads named Ainsley Earnhardt and Brian Kilmeade and Steve Ducey here. You're not going to have airheads like Peter Hegseth. You're not going to have people who are lackeys like Maria Bartiromo and Lou Dobbs and Sean Hannity. See, what's going to happen here? You're going to get asked real questions based upon real facts, and this administration simply can't handle that. But if they want to have the conversation, Chris, please carry the message to them. I'll be happy to have it anytime, any day, anywhere. When we come back,
and I'll say this: I certainly will relay that message. I think people like Jerron, I think will be probably great to speak to.
Well, guess what? Look, I'll be happy to talk to Jerron, but when I moderated the National Minority Supplier Development Council Town Hall, Jerron, as well as Ashley Bell, didn't show up. I was the moderator. Again, let me know when they want to have the conversation. We're here 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. This is the Ceek VR headset created by Mary Spiel, the sister. We had her on the show. Black woman. She actually is the inventor of this particular headset. And so what happens is you just simply place your phone right into here, and then of course close it up, and then go to their website and then their app, and you can actually experience the comedy showcase. And so they have these headsets, these VR headsets on their site, Ceek.com, for sale. Then also they have these 4D 360-degree headphones. First of all, I love the two stuff because they're in black and old gold, my frat colors. But these are awesome because for gamers, it comes with detachable headset, and again, folks, it gives you 360-degree sound. Amazing sound. If you want to buy these, you have a promo code you can use. This is just for our followers, and it is RMVIP2020. RMVIP2020. Put that promo code in if you want to buy the headphones, buy the VR headset. You get that discount to buy it. They're amazing. So Ceek.com, RMVIP2020. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.